Here we are out in the garage, getting ready to go to the Cape in a few days, and getting everything ready to go here. One of the things that's got to happen is that all that woodwork has got to be done before we launch in September. Lord willing, if the creek don't rise, that's when we're going. So what we're going to do, I'm going to look into getting this piece of wood finished out that goes across the transom. And this was done, oh my goodness, probably 2 years ago at Christmas time. I cut this thing, and it's been done for a long time, but I want to put a fresh coat of Cetol on it. Also want to prep everything for getting the stern light on, and I'm just going to talk about that for a few minutes before we start throwing some Cetol on this thing. So here we are. Here's the trim piece that goes across the back of the transom there. What do they call that, Randy? I'll think of it in a minute. Okay. I want to sand this out again because it's been marred up from being on the, kicking around the boat. And I want to, sand it out totally top, bottom, and get some brand new Cetol on it. And then this has got to go on. And I'm not going to put it on until I get down to the Cape finally. But here's the stern light right here. And I've already cleaned this up. It doesn't look because it's dusty, but anyway, the stern light. And this is still very functional. When I did over some of the wiring on the boat, I ran brand new wire up to the leads for this, and hit it with a 12 volts. And sure enough, I mean that's up and running. And I kind of panicked because I had this together. I had a piece of this tape around it, and 3 screws that go with this, okay, were in that tape, encased in tape, top and bottom, and they were, taped right to this. I'm looking. I couldn't. I have one bag that I keep all that kind of stuff in that I transport back and forth between here and the Cape to work on the boat. And anyway, I'm looking and looking. All of a sudden, I notice a baggie. And in the baggie, look what I found. There it is. I had the presence of mind enough back at the time to go ahead, and when the tape broke off, there's all 3 screws, and I took them, left them taped together, put them in a baggie, and stuck them in there so I would be able to find them when I needed them. Hell, I'm so grateful I had the forethought to do that. Anyway, so we got the screws for that, and I'm going to pre-drill this. And matter of fact, not only am I going to pre-drill the holes for this, because this has a definite front and back, and we'll obviously face this bulb toward the rear, so that when we drill the holes, they'll be perfectly aligned, so that the light from the stern light will face out the back of the boat. This is a fairly new can of Cetol, and the good news is I was very careful to seal it up extremely tight before I put it up at my folks' house, and it's just as fresh and good. A little stir stick here. That is just as fresh and good as when I bought it. I just need to do some stirring here. Believe me, with as much as this stuff costs, I'm definitely going to be careful every single time to clear that channel and get that lid to go down in there so I get a nice tight seal, and the Cetol lasts because I got a lot of work to do with it. I'm going to have to make sure I take this back to the Cape because I got tow rails to do. Anyway, okay, get going on this. Those of you who have watched my videos before know that I'm a big proponent of these marvelous foam brushes, and I bought a slew of them last time I was over at Randy. Not Home Depot. Home Depot, they cost more. Over at Walmart, and they were on sale. Oh, good grief, was it 50 cents? I just bought a slew of them. You know, you're gonna get one of the. If it's gonna be something you're gonna use all the time, just make sure that you know, just buy it. That way you have it on hand when you need it. So anyway, but first of all, this is going to be sanded out. What's going on this? And I think what I'm going to do is just shut this off for a minute while I get this all sanded out, and then we'll get it started up again. You've only watched me do this 1,000 times probably with the different videos I've done of all the varnishing and so forth. But the Cetal, it's just like anything else. It is not a matte finish, but it is also not a gloss finish. It's kind of halfway in between. I just found out that they have Cetal gloss, and I may do that. I may not this season. I've got enough to do this season, but I may go ahead and get hold of a can of Cetal gloss to go over everything else, because that would just really finish it out nice and probably last a little longer. Has a little more water resistance and so forth. So anyway, yeah, that was on Sale Brothers. I noticed, and boy, their woodwork looks fantastic. If you haven't followed Sale Brothers, go check it out. They got a really good channel over there. They were restoring an old yacht, and they have done a lot of just excellent work on that boat, bringing it back to kind of the same kind of thing I'm doing, only on a bigger scale. Because it's a bigger boat, and that basically, and they gutted their boat. It was really bad. I've been following them ever since they got hold of the boat, and the interior of that boat was just rotted. I watched as they just basically ripped everything out and threw it out. Okay, that's everything for the top side. I'm using 220 here, by the way. I want to leave the layers on, but at the same time, get enough of a scuff on it to where, yeah, this is good. Okay. All right, I'm going to shut this down for a minute because I need to get some paper towel and get this cleaned up, and then we'll get some Cetal on it. All right, so I'm sticking this. I got a couple of little standoffs here. I don't know if you saw me do that, where I'm got that I'm placing underneath here. You can see it out there. I'm putting it underneath so that it's not directly down on the cardboard. I don't want this thing sticking down. Probably wouldn't kill it, but I don't want to mess with that. All right, so we're ready to go. Start getting some Cetal. And I said this trip we're only doing one coat top side because this has already got at least 3 coats on it to begin with. And it doesn't need any more than that. I'm just dressing it up to make it look good before it gets put on the boat, bedded and put on the boat. Semi-permanently, whatever that means. Who knows when this is going to be replaced. That piece of teak that I took off from there that was so completely just eroded and gone, that piece of teak had been on there for almost 50 years. And it was there, but boy, it was ragged. It was just in tough shape. Just eroded and actually somewhat rotted in some areas, which is hard to make teak rot. But and as I've done this with past coats of Cetal. Made sure to get the inside of that hole, because even though that's going to be a wide open hole with wires running down through it for the sake of the stern light, I still want to make sure it's completely coated so that no moisture can get to the inside of the wood underneath that stern light. So that's I try to make sure that it's coated down inside there. When you're doing varnish or Cetal work, really stand back and carefully look at, use the light to your advantage, and so that you see where there are drips, where there are pools. You want just an absolutely perfect smooth coat. This is one of my babies. I think I do a pretty good job of it. If you look at a lot of the trim work that I've done for the interior of the boat. But you got to just really pay attention. Make sure you stand back and look. Use the light so that you can kind of see through the coat that you're putting on there to make sure that you're getting a nice smooth application all the way. I'm going to be done with this in just a few minutes. And I am also going to do the underside of this, not now, this has got to dry first, but I'm going to do the underside of this because it's going, it's going to be out there in the weather, but that underside, even though it is getting bedded with caulking all underneath it, I still want to get I don't know, maybe fourth coat, third, fourth. This is a fourth coat here for this. I want to make sure that that is completely covered with Cetal. So you just give it an extra protection so that it doesn't end up looking like the last one that I took off from it that was 50 years old and rotted all to pieces, or raggedy all to pieces. So anyway, all right, that's it. That is it. We're in good shape here. I hear that my wife just came home, and I think I'm out of here. I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes. Ultimately, this is going to get carried. Thankfully, that's why I did not varnish or Cetal the underside of this. Ultimately, this is going to get carried into my man cave. What is that? Okay, I got it off. Piece of lint or something. You notice there, I spotted that. Ooh, hang on. Stabilize. You notice I was looking at this from over the top, and I saw that lint, and it's just very faint. But get it off there. Make sure that you spot that stuff. You don't want it drying in, especially if this is your last coat, and this is the last coat for this one. So, all right, guys, that's it. Let me go ahead and take this out. Okay, here we go. Finally got it turned around. And I definitely got inside there where the, hang on. As I started to say, I definitely got inside there where the aft chain plate comes up, and boy, I'm going to bed around that thing. I want to make sure that that's completely bedded all in, so that it gets a good secure seal between the wood and the chain plate when I put this on. All right, we're ready to go. Well, good morning, guys. Just an update on my lazarette trim here. I got this in back in my man cave last night, and I realized that I should not have trusted the lighting out there in the garage. It's just it's inadequate. You can't see clearly what's up with regard to your Cetal or varnish, whatever you're doing. And so I brought it back in here, and this is where I've already sanded this out. I'm going to put one more coat on because It was really sparse down on this end. I had a piece of lint on this end that I didn't even notice out in the garage. So anyway, this is all going to get a brand new coat of acetal. And the beauty of this is I'm going to take this, watch this, take this right here and put the light down on this end. That way, as I do this, I can keep track of what that varnish is doing end to end. You see that? As I back up, okay, that light is coming right down the line, and I can keep track of how that acetal is going on, whether I got a good solid coat. It's just so much easier to see when you've got a single source of really bright light at one end of your varnish work, and then, just kind of work from underneath the light on back. Underneath the light you can really see because it's right over it. But then as you go down through here, you can also see it because you get the reflection coming off from it. And anyway, so back at it. I got to get this thing done. Got it done. Very nice. Everything came out just exactly the way I wanted it to because I've got the light. This is so much better when you can just look down the length of your work. Get down low. If you're wanting to really see what it's looking like, get down at a low angle at the end of your work and just kind of examine it that way. And you'd be surprised at how, it just gives you the exact view that you want to have to be able to see whether you get a proper coverage. Well, everything's got to go on hold for a few minutes. Got to charge up my battery from my old DeWalt. I'm afraid I'm going to have to buy a brand new drill because it's going to cost more to buy new batteries than the drill is worth. So, in the meantime, everything's all centered up. Got the holes all lined to where all we just need to do is drill these, and we can mount our stern light. So we'll get it when the battery's all done. Guys, we're all loaded up, and right after singing chow tonight, we'll be heading down the road for the Cape. But in the meantime, just kind of want to put a wrap on this because I'm going to be doing a part 2 when we get to the Cape. One of the exciting things I want to share with you when I get there is about a buddy of mine, also a member of the church, Church of Christ, that has his brother-in-law has 2 moorings in Yarmouth. I don't know how it's going to work out, but his brother-in-law has not had a boat on those in, 3 years. And yeah, the big question is going to come. And by the way, he also tells me that the guys over there in Yarmouth, and it's just the next town over from where my boat is now, with the Barnstable area, but that the guys over there switch out moorings. That they take turns and so on and so forth. So maybe they got a different attitude about moorings over there than they do Barnstable. But the big question would come, would my Barnstable registered boat be welcomed on a Yarmouth mooring, even for just one season? So we'll see. I got a little hope there. That sounds like, even if it's for just a couple of weeks, I could probably get away with it. So anyway, it's empty. It's empty, and I'm going to call Doug again and find out what size boat his brother-in-law has. That would be kind of nice. Anyway, all right, guys. Listen, thanks for stopping by Restoring Little Girl. Like I said, after church tonight, we're going to get on the road and head for the Cape, and we'll open up with a brand new episode tomorrow morning when we're back aboard Little Girl. So thanks for stopping by.